News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live this morning at the Buncombe County Health Center. In Victoria, how can we prevent exposure to this disease?
Well, the best thing we can do is avoid exposure and interaction with mosquitoes, and that may seem next to impossible because they seem to be on thriving mode this year because we had such a warm spring and the summer's been so hot. But there are steps we can take. In the last half hour, we were talking about in general what products are out there. Now I'm talking to Sue Ellen Morrison, who is you are the disease control supervisor here for Buncombe County. So you have to be on guard and watching what's coming into our area, which includes West Nile virus potentially. It's no confirmed cases here, 5 in our state. But our kids are out there,
right? And
this time we wanted to talk about what is safe for children, because not every product that's okay for a grown-up is okay for kids.
That's true.
What are our options?
All right. Well, the natural product, the oil of lemon eucalyptus, can be used for children as ages 3 and above.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not proven yet to be used for children under 3. So you have to be careful of that. Okay. But it's a natural product.
A lot of the products that I see that are geared toward, you know, they say family on there and stuff, have DEET in them, and we talked about that. What do we need to know about using DEET with our kids?
Okay, the DEET products, they range in strength of it. There's 30% up to 50% you can use on your family. You just want them, if you're going to spray your child, have them hold their arms and legs out and then spray them.
So
but you want to be careful that they can cover their face.
It's important we don't.
Right, you don't want them to breathe it in.
Okay.
And you don't want them to get it on their hands because they can ingest it. They're eating and such. So you don't want the eyes in the mouth. You don't want that.
If I do need to put it on their face, because my sons and my daughter get their little bites there.
You can put it on your hands and then sparingly put it on their face and their neck and their ears. Okay. And then you can wash your hands afterwards. So the idea with that is just to make sure it can be used, but just don't put it on their face. You do it on their face.
Kind of like I do with the sunscreen.
Right.
Exactly. Okay, so that's going to be the steps to keep the kids safe. Coming up in our next half hour, I know you've heard them, I have too, all the really great home remedies for helping keep the mosquitoes away. We're going to find out what may or may not work when it comes to that, and still find your best defense against preventing the potential exposure to West Nile virus. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
This week, we have seen the number of confirmed cases of West Nile in the Carolinas climb to 20, and at least 3 are in the Upstate. This morning, News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live at the Buncombe County Health Center with some ways to keep the disease-carrying mosquitoes from thriving near our homes. Vic?
Yeah, Jay, just yesterday we got confirmation that a second person in North Carolina has died. This again was a little bit further to the east, but the West Nile virus is at its worst outbreak status in our U.S. history. And the problem is the mosquitoes have had a great growing season. Sue Ellen Morrison is the disease control supervisor here for Buncombe County, and the mosquitoes had a warm spring. They didn't really have a long winter where the eggs could die off, and they're going gangbusters. But we can do some things to help cut those numbers, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Where do we kind of miss, like, hidden spots where they like to thrive?
Well, here's a good example. Just water that sits in a flower pot dish. People don't realize it takes so little water.
Yeah, you were telling me this is a milk bottle cap. That's all it takes for a mosquito to lay eggs, hundreds of eggs?
Just hatch. Yeah, and mosquitoes don't travel far, just a couple hundred yards. So you need to look around in your own backyard.
So if I've been bitten by a mosquito in my backyard, I need to really realize that they've been breeding there too.
Very most likely.
Okay.
Here's another good example. Gutters. If they're clogged, they're not going to be draining, and it's a great place for them to lay the eggs.
Oh. Might have to check those this weekend. What about?
This is another example, just a larger flower pot. Making sure you dump it after a heavy rain if they're outside. Your outdoor water dishes for your pets, you need to make sure that you're replacing that water every couple of days. And screens.
This was interesting because this screen has a little bitty hole in it, right? Doesn't look very big, but you said that's trouble.
Yeah, that's trouble.
They can get in the house this way.
That's right. So you need to replace them, repair them or replace them.
And the one other thing about the tires, we hear, empty the water out of the tires, but you had another tip beyond that.
If some people use them as swings, tire swings. You need to drill holes so it'll drain. So if you need to keep the tire, put holes in it and drain it. Otherwise, discard them, get rid of them.
And if we've been bitten and we're concerned about possible exposure, we maybe think we're having symptoms, we need to go see our doctors, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Some good tips. Remember that if you want more information, you can always check with your doctor or the health center here, and they will give you the advice and the tips regarding this. Whatever it is, remember, we have to protect ourselves and eliminate the breeding grounds for these mosquitoes because the West Nile virus is in our state as well as in South Carolina. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.